Rebuild was founded in 2010 and incorporated in 2011. So it is a 501c3. And what we do is we provide arts and culture programming within Chicago, St. Louis, and Omaha. And we do this programming in houses that Theaster, particularly in Chicago, purchased. He purchased 3 houses, and they are commonly known as Dochester projects. The houses are his artistic works of art. So this first house was actually a neighborhood candy store that had been abandoned for years. The house next door, which is the wood-faced house here, we call that the Archive House. He purchased that in 2008 when it went into foreclosure, and he and a friend designed and rehab that house. And the Archive House is the house where Rebuild does most of our programming. The goal of Rebuild is to activate abandoned spaces, and they tend to be houses. And the idea is to reimagine what can actually happen in these spaces and reimagine beauty in underserved or urban neighborhoods. The programming, while it's arts and culture, so we do things like this, we have a sewing program, it's also using arts as a way to think about interventions in housing as well as workforce development, which is kind of how the Dorchester Artist Housing Collaborative came together. We come in, we activate the spaces, and the image on the top is in the Archive House. And it's an image of our after-school video production class. We partnered with South Shore Fine Arts Academy, which is on 70th and Dorchester. And as part of our Black Cinema House programming, we provide film education. I give you all of that background and kind of context for Rebuild Foundation to go into the conversation about the new project, the Dorchester Artist Housing Collaborative, and really thinking about art and community in a different way. And this is our first kind of step into thinking about art and housing in a different way.
So our firm has been working with affordable housing, designing affordable housing for over 27 years now. And just a brief background. So we have a little bit of experience in affordable housing, but this project is really interesting for us to work on. But let's just look at the neighborhood a little bit. Again, lots of vacant lots. But the context is there's some nice buildings around there, apartment buildings, multifamily buildings. You know, it is still a nice residential neighborhood, what's left of it. So the idea of reimagining what a neighborhood could be or might be is really important. Unlike other artist housing that might be studio or one bedroom, this was originally designed as a family property, and it's going to stay that way. There are only 2 and 3 bedroom properties on the site. And you can see the orange space in the middle there is what's conceived of as the art center. There's also a mix of market rate, affordable, and public housing units. I guess to put in context, these units were not going to be live-work units, but mainly live units, and then the art would happen in this community art center where everybody would come together and would share in art making. Part of the idea of the art center was it's still a little bit of an open space because this is an ongoing process of how the art center is going to evolve. That pivot door opens, and then when there are events open to the public again, everyone's welcome in. And then the wall to the right is meant to be ongoing artwork, to tell people what's happening and any future events. This is the rear of the art center. And you can see there's a large overhang. So the hope is that if there's art taking place in that space, the doors can open out and people can move out even in somewhat rainy weather or bad weather and continue the work outside. And then right now, the art center's gone through a few iterations. We're looking at making this a dance studio. So the floor will be a sprung floor, wood floor, so it's appropriate for real dance companies to come and perform. And again, we're anticipating that these spaces will evolve over time, that they won't be finished quite yet at the time of completion. We're about 30% complete right now, and we're hoping to be complete in September, but we did lose a little bit of time over the winter with the extreme cold weather and a possum. But the possum's been rehomed, so don't worry. It's okay.